Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him. James 1:12, English Standard Version. Hello ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a blessed day and thanks for tuning in. Much like my Resident Evil 5 video, this verse perfectly summarizes the main idea of Black Myth Wukong. Never before have I played a game that feels so absurdly unfair but makes me feel like it's all my fault at the same time. A game that pushed me to my absolute limit and had me on the verge of refunding it and acting like I've never heard of the game. But then when at the apex of fury, rage, and the verge of tears, finally achieving victory and being rewarded phenomenally. Suffering builds endurance, endurance builds character, and character builds hope. Romans 5:3-4. And I wouldn't have even thought about touching this game without my good buddy and assistant for this journey, MetaMatt. Why don't you come and introduce yourself?
What's going on, gamers? So I have a personal history with this game, and I even platinum trophied it some time ago, and I really don't recommend doing that, to be honest. Anyways, so I love this game. Like, I really freaking enjoy it. And it melted my heart when Frog told me that he was finally gonna play it and even do a review on it. He asked me to come over and help him through the game, especially at some boss fights. Go along.
And now, without a further ado, let's get into this journey to the west. We start out the game as the main simian himself, Wukong, as he's going to the front lines to protect his mountains against the army of the Celestial Court. This pretty boy is Erlang. He tells his army, "Only I can fight him because I'm the alpha and all you betas stay back." Wukong laughs in his face like any sensible monkey and they begin fighting. This is easily one of the best tutorials I've ever played. Like, it's the perfect demonstration of both what is and what's to come with beautiful combat and fun abilities. After a little bit of scuffling, Erlang is able to get the upper hand and beats Wukong, and as a punishment turns him into a stone? Not sure what that's about. Now we fast forward to some old monkey telling other monkeys the tale of Wukong, and the legend of if anyone can gather all the relics of Wukong, they may be able to resurrect him. Guess this monkey is also Dracula. We now start out as our main character, the Destined One, and yes, that is his legal name on his driver's license. Just like Wukong, this monkey is talented with the bow staff and mows down the enemies in front of him, and we run into this Potato Man. He helps us out on our first boss, and he must have some relation to Wukong as he gives us the ability. Continuing down the road, we run into him again where he turns us into a bug to scout ahead with relative safety. But that ain't my speed, so I pop back out, end the baddies ahead of me, and run into the first real challenge of the run.
Hey man, are you alright?
I'm perfectly fine! I'll just go a different route. Alright, this dude actually has a cutscene. I must be going the right way.
Yeah, alright, dude. If that last guy was such a struggle to have fun.
Why was Zoomy Fireman easier than Big Potato Boy? Well, maybe now I have the skill to beat him. Moving on! I find a temple where the Tater Tot tells me a great challenge is up ahead and there will be no turning back. Alright, let's get ready for another 50 retries and... Okay, this is actually a huge problem I have with the game, where bosses are either totally fair or totally bull. How do I first try 3 cutscene bosses, but then get wrecked by a big spud? And before you ask, yes, this is a reoccurring theme in the game. Don't be surprised when fiery trials test you. 1 Peter 4:12. Continuing on, I run into an old man who takes my sippy, paints on it, and gives it back. He made it to where I now can absorb Yall souls and bend them to my will. Now I meet some weird looking dude with a fan, and after 2 tries I beat him and claim his ability to summon snake turrets. Moving forward, I find this cheerful fellow who is a licensed booze dealer. We talk to him whenever we can afford to upgrade our gourd. After talking to him, I run into this dude, who at the time I thought was a corrupted version of the dude who Wukong fight. And considering my track record with this game, I struggled with the last fight, so this one should be a walk in the park. Is it too late to change games?
Power of Mortar. Can you feel it? And you
let's go back and level up. And hey, it's been a bit since fighting the big baby. Maybe now I can beat him. English, says the teacher. Everything is English! Yes, 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 yes! Holy moly, eat it! You're mine now!
Yep, and now you still have to fight the snake.
Alright, I'm here, I'm dedicated, let's get this bread! Yes! 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 Oh, this is better than nutting! Don't grow weary, keep going, the reward comes in due time. Finally moving on, I run into this dude. Alright, time to get ready for another 3 hours. How? And why is this game so stupidly unbalanced? Tater Tot comes back and gives us another spell, Cloud Step, easily one of the best in the game. We leave behind an after image and turn invisible to trick the enemies and to get a free hit. Continuing on, we meet that dude again, and now he's a giant bear. Alright, I beat you once, I can beat you again. Honestly, I am numb to it now. Beating him, we get some shiny thing and he pleads for his life and we let him go. This is one of the relics of Wukong, meaning now we have piece 1 of 5. Put on the armor of God to stand against the enemy. And now we get a fun animated cutscene with some little boy chasing a frog, bumping into a friendly bear. The boy then grows up rich and comfy until suddenly his quilt sets his land on fire and kills him. Not sure what that's about, but that's the end of chapter 1. Man, this game is going to be the death of me. Chapter 2 starts and we get this beautiful song. So, no head. Yes, thank you. I deserve this. Thank you, I'll be here all week. We wake up with like 40 arrows in our chest somehow, and the headless bard revives us. Moving on, we run into this fun fox guy who, after beating an electric frog, allows us to make pills. Because when you ain't got the physical power to do something, drugs will fill the gap. After helping a friend in need, we run into a father and a son talking about their woes. We interrupt the family drama and whoop some ass. After taking out the son, Papa runs away to his other boy and we follow. We run into the headless man again and he gives us another ability, the one I was waiting for all game. The Pluck of Many. Just as the name entails, allows us to spawn clones and jump the enemy. 2 are better than 1, because if one falls, the other can lift him up. So much fun. We finally catch up to the rat where he is waking up his boy and tells him his brother was taken out. But I don't think he understands because he's hungry. And now we fight him, and just like his brother, we take him out first try and move on. We find another temple and make our way to the top and find a kitty cat.
Where'd you come from, you bird-faced mug? Who cares anyway? I'll gobble you up first.
Spicy kitty cat. 3 attempts later and he becomes a member of the blood pool. For some reason, the pool then drains itself, allowing us into some caverns. Down a cliffside, we find our fox friend again. Now in his proper working area, we craft some more pills and move on to the chapter boss, who only takes us 3 attempts. After beating him, the headless man takes the rat's shield, which is his head for some reason. Then he goes on a speech about how the rat's reign was his fault and he gives us another piece of Wukong. That leads us to another cutscene, this time stop motion, which is super cool. Some traveler saves a fox, takes it home, and in the morning is a woman. She and him spend the rest of their life together, have some kids, and live happily ever after. Never mind, she's a demon, I guess. And then he wakes up, seeing it was all a dream, and does what any rational person would, and kills the fox. And here I thought we were about to have a happy story for once. Chapter 3 starts, and now we're in some kind of tundra, waking up in a cave with some big dudes wanting to tussle. What kind of rager is this monkey going on after every fight where he blacks out and wakes up in a different country? Moving on, we run into a bunch of frozen corpses and, oh hey, another monkey. Oh, and it looks like he's friendly as well. We follow him and I try to be buds with him, but he wants to run the ones. beat him, and he buggers off. Continuing up the mountain, we see this disturbing bird thing, and he turns us into a bat where we follow him through the countryside, see beautiful sights, and takes us to our next destination. A shed on a frozen lake. So walking towards it, we get interrupted by something glowing under the ice, and this fat Buddha-looking child greets us. The kid talks a big talk, but instead of fighting us, he sends out a dragon. Well, last chapter wasn't too hard, so I should be good here. Is it me or the game that's inconsistent? I can't tell anymore! Beating the overgrown lizard, he knocks us into the water where we then get taken by the monkey from earlier to some kind of prison. Making our way out of the prison, we fight what I can only assume is the warden, who was... fun. Moving on, we find the monkey again, this time terrorizing that kind old man who turned our booze magical, and after 3 attempts, we beat him, talk to the old man, and get the Ring of Fire spell, and move on. We then run into some woman and Belle having a conversation. We interrupt the talk and fight the girl.
Obey our masters. I choose. Obey our masters. I choose destiny over your very...
Okay, fight is a strong word, but I still beat her! She turns into a dragon and tries to get away, but I am sick of those dragons and I take her down. I knock the bell down in the process and out pops Oolong from Dragon Ball! Oh my god, I'm your biggest fan! Piggy then insults not only the dragon, but also me, and we move on. He calls the turtle that we were riding on to move the shore and let us off. Moving up the mountain, we run back into the child where he and Oolong goes at it for a little bit. The child then tells us we need to bow to 4 Buddha statues, so we do that, then a secret entrance opens. Going through it, we run into this freak who puts up a good fight, but ultimately loses to all 5 of me. Oh, looks like he wants some more. Alright, let's go. Phase 2 had some hands. A fun slide later, I find this dude. Probably shouldn't had include this since it amounted to nothing but the death counter. Alright, found the correct path and a pair of legs from The Last of Us. Huh, remarkably easy. Making it up through this temple, we stumble on the fat kid who gives us a lesson on life, I think. Honestly, I'm not paying enough attention to care. Oh, maybe I should have, because now we're fighting. And he's an adult. Wait, he's an adult. Now I can beat him up! Got him first try. Oh cool, should have killed him I guess, cause now he's sucking me into his bag. Oh, that's reassuring. Oh, at least I have company with Monkey and Piggy in here. Guess we have to fight. Seems kinda pointless since we're all trapped. Thankfully I fought this dude twice now, so he ain't that hard 3rd time around. Now we get plucked out of the bag, and for some reason we're the flying monkey now, but the size of a toy. So after taking out all these other sentient toys, it's time for round 2 with Pinhead.
Who you calling Pinhead?
Okay, I'm sorry. You can be Dirty Dan. Alright, now let me tell you why this is the biggest, most stupid, most unfair boss fight in the game. No, it's not because it has 3 phases. No, it's not because he can turn gold, forcing you to knock him back to normal before being able to damage him again. It's because with his different phases, there's a cutscene that you have to watch every time. And even if you beat the phase perfectly without taking a hit, the cutscene drains a portion of your health. This was by far the most irritating boss fight in the entire game! Alright, now back to the regularly scheduled beating. Come on! Come on! Come on! Yes! Finally! Oh, I'm never playing this game again! After beating him, we find out this dude is apparently a faker and was just stealing the fat kid's identity. Pig and the kid go at it for a bit before the kid steals his rake and summons a giant goldfish. Why did I say that like that's totally normal? That leads us into a cutscene where some fisherman catches this thing and turns out it bleeds pearls. So the village keeps it, and turns out not only is it living currency, but it's also magical as it heals and helps with gathering food. But of course, greedy people are greedy, and one night as the village is getting their share, some dude is impatient, leading to a riot where they rip the infinite money glitch limb from limb, patching it out. Guess this was some kind of test, cause that thing is still alive and tells his buddy, "Told you humans value money more than life." And his buddy's like, "Nuh-uh, you just take advantage of the poor to prove a point." Look, I'm just saying, the facts are, instead of the village shaming the dude who started the violence, they joined in on the mutilation, so I think he's got a point. Chapter 4. We somehow are captured, and after escaping and beating our captors, we make our way to the front entrance of this castle. We disguise ourselves to get into a feast of some kind, but then are immediately discovered by, I can only assume is the princess, and oh my god, she's a spider! Kill it! Kill it! Kill it! She's beat and leaves Baji with a spire in his head. He then chases after and we follow as well. It takes us to a cavern where we end up on a bed. You know what, I'm done questioning it. We move on, run into this weird ass hand bug thing, beat it up, and some lady yoinks it and turns it into a bridge for me. Huh, thanks lady. She then hits me with some wisdom crap and leaves. We then see Baji following the spider girl like a mindless zombie into the other siblings, who are all gossiping about how their mom is getting married and she's marrying the pig? In this bizarre world, guess I shouldn't be judging. Getting to the courtyard, we actually have to fight Baji, who's currently brainwashed. We knock his teeth out and he runs away to another part of the cave. Now he's actually trying to fight. Oh well, it only took me 3 attempts, so can't be too upset with him. We show him his reflection, which for some reason gets him to snap out of it, and we continue on the trip. We then run into the old lady again, who has Baji wrapped up and basically tells him, "Bang me or die." I think he chose the right decision, so now it's time to fight another
Spiders! 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 Get off me! Get off me!
Now with her gone, we run away from my worst nightmare. We then get saved by one of the other spiders. Huh, guess they ain't all bad, but they are all still disgusting. Moving on through the territory, we find the sisters again and their mother, who is being absorbed by this dude who's trying to kill me. So thankfully we have a mutual enemy and we team up to fight this thing. Or I guess they got tired and pissed off. Alright, guess it's just you and me then. I hate this game! I hate this game! I hate this game! I love this game! I love this game! I love this game! That ends chapter 4, giving us another cutscene, this time of Baji and the spider lady in their young years. It's both equally cute and sad. Chapter 5 begins and it starts in the most normal way, with Baji and the Destined One running into a horde of enemies and kicking some tail. One walk later, we run into this bull dude who, after beating, gives us a mission of destroying some carts. Alright, odd task, but sure, I'll blow up some carts. Holy crap, even the transportation is demons! Alright, 1 of 5 down. I move on and run into this weird looking mole man who isn't long for this world. I also run into cart number 2 and after what feels like 15 minutes, finally beat him and continue on. I find some talking fox being hung over a fire and these two creepy heads roll in. After beating them, I save the fox who happens to be a fox girl. Hey, no, bad Matt, down boy, heal! She tells us that she needs our help saving her mom and dad who is in danger of her brother. He's wanting to usurp the throne, so we agree to help and follow her. We end up in yet more caves where I find a dead cart, saves me the trouble, and I pull its cord anyway cause no rest for the wicked. I run into the next boss fight between these two freaks who are totally fair and my fault that it took me that long. After beating them, we turn to a bug and literally become a fly on the wall for a family dispute. The fox girl's begging her mom for her fan so we can put out the fire surrounding her dad to save him. She says, "Stop pestering me," and then this dapper fellow starts pulling the moves on Mama and convinces her to banish their daughter to wherever. And now that she's gone, they can get busy. Oh, turns out that's actually Baji disguised as her mom. I have so many questions, but no time for that because now we have to fight the blue-balled Raiden wannabe. His whole gimmick is yin-yang, and just like a girl who relies on horoscopes to live their life, he was useless and we never see him again after insulting his pride. Moving on, we find cart number 3 and... Wait, he got himself stuck? How? How is this possible? Why is he stuck outside the ring, and why can't I get to him? Alright, this doesn't count. I'm coming back and I'm whooping your ass! I blame that glitch. It totally ruined my flow. All on the glitch. Moving up the mountain, I find this giant death ball gatekeeping this walkway. After a few mistakes, I make it past where we find the fox girl again, who tells Baji to hold off the death ball so she can clear the way with the fan. Too bad that ball got hands, because it takes down Baji and she tells us not to worry, he'll be fine. I'm not too sure, but we got a job to do. We make it to the Bull King, who says,
That lady has a penis.
Because it turns out his daughter is actually his son in disguise, who after being discovered throws a hissy fit and then runs the fade. Bring it! I beat one kind, I'll take another! You got lucky, I'll get you this time!
Hey, wait, before you fight, I think you're missing like 40% of the game.
What do you mean? There's no story DLC.
No, dumbass. Like, have you done any of the side quests?
Side what now?
You didn't do any of the side quests. You realize that you just missed over half of the game. Bro, no wonder you couldn't beat the Buddha Belly, man, because you had half of your tool set locked. You couldn't do God, how monkey-brained are you Nimrod? You literally... is all you do is go in one straight line? Or do you not know how to go left or right? All you did was just go forward. Go forward. You idiot. Half of the game is exploring the beautiful world we're in, and you just said, oh, no. No, I'm gonna hit guy with stick, and I'm not gonna do any point. You are a
So this bear guy essentially has this fire ability that allows him to do more damage on you, and makes this passive damage over time as well. Frog completely missed the secret area that would have given him the fireproof mantle that basically gives him a water shield preventing burning. But he didn't do that. To get to the secret area, you have to ring all 3 bells in the forest. And then you're transported into this world where you fight this big-headed dude named Elder Jinchi. And he's really easy. In fact, there's even a point where like he's using zombies to give him health, but just kill the zombies and smack them with a big old stick. So in this chapter, there's this board that's just chilling out, right? And you talk to him, and he says he needs this thing called a sobering stone to sober him up because he's got issues. You travel along the path that takes you to this small little village, and you find the stone hidden in some pots. Then you make your way back to the boar and give him the stone. He then tells you to meet him at the Tiger Temple. Okay, so we go talk to him at the Tiger Temple, give him some Jade Lotus, and Frog already had, thank God. And then he tells you to go back to where you were previously. Okay, so then why did we go all the way back here to begin with? That make like just why? Why? So then you meet up with him again, but he notices that you took something from a previous boss that you fought earlier, and that was his brother's. So then you duke it out with him, but then he gives up and acts like a kitty rolling over with his belly showing out going, oh, I'm sorry. He talks of this world of gold or some and he takes you through this gate that opens up as like a desert, but it was actually a portal to the past. Huh? Okay. There's this beetle monster that you fight that the Great Wind Sage, which is just, you know, that big rat guy, he's trying to take down this big beetle monster and take some power. You take on the beetle with the rat joining you in the later half of the fight. And the fight's pretty bitchin', honestly. Like, the whole scene is just spectacular and feels like a dope action movie. And like, you know, Frog also would have gotten the Wind Tamer item that gives him damage reduction, and this could have helped him later on. But nah. He's not gonna explore for some reason. There's a secret boss fight in this chapter that's actually a resolution to the beginning where the monk takes in the fox. You find the fox's skin pelt on like a dead monk lying around, and she speaks to you as a spirit and asks you to use her abilities to get vengeance upon the man who killed her. You can transform into the wolf and haunt the monk, leading to this boss fight. It's a minor boss fight, but it creates this awesome sense of world building and rewards the player for actually paying attention to the stories the game tells. But someone had to skip on the initial run! Oh yeah, there's also this old dragon guy that, like, once you fight him, he demands some Vicodin from the fox in chapter 2. So then you go back to him, grab the Viagra, pop it like a perk, and then all of a sudden, the dragon will then take you to a secret squirrel world where you can upgrade your gourd from the monkey. You can also upgrade your pills and upgrade your armor, thanks to this big help of some freaking tiger guy, or whatever he is. I can't tell if he's a wolf or a tiger, I don't know, he's got a weird face. You can also fight him too. And then he will also upgrade your curio slot as well, which means you can have more stat upgrades. This would have been helpful now, wouldn't it, Ben Frog? So there's this guy wrapped up in like these webs in like a cocoon of some kind near the bottom of this cavern. You beat it up until he bursts out of the cocoon, slap him around a bit until he gives up and leaves. Then you make your way around this cliff and then you find like a corner or some kind of like weird wall area that's kind of like a dead end. You find him, you fight him again a couple times, then he's like, "Oh, I wasn't strong enough. Here, I'm gonna paint the wall." And then like the wall turns into like this painting area, whatever, that turns into a yellow forest, but it's called Purple Cloud Mountain. So like, but if it's a yellow forest, why is it purple? Oh, who gives? There's a bunch of these stray dudes from Shrek 2 you get to fight, but this bullshit scorpion boss fight, yeah, this guy was brutal. One of the harder bosses in the game. He's relentless and will swing so much you barely have time to react. Thanks to Frog's poison resistant build, it actually wasn't too hard for him because the scorpion relies on poison damage to actually like just completely eradicate you. After all this, you move on to the final boss, which is like this weird bird weird creature. It's got like these weird like talon fangs on his legs. I don't know, it's kind of weird. Anyways, so he's a really annoying boss fight because he's one of those guys where like you have to constantly hit their legs, but they move really fast. So you're spending most of your time in the boss fight like just chasing them, and it's honestly a pretty mid fight. However, the reward you get is pretty cool. You get this thing called the Weaver's Needle. It's a needle that you can send out to do additional damage over time, and it's important to use against the centipede dude in chapter 4 because he creates this massive red bubble that completely takes your health down and drops it. But if you have the needle, you could have popped it and completely negate this ability. Wouldn't that have been nice, Frog?
Okay, so now that he's satisfied, let's move on back to chapter 5. Just so he won't wring my neck, let's get the last carts done. Thankfully, there's only one left, and somehow the second easiest one, taking me 3 attempts. After beating him, that bold dude who tried to take the cart by himself got horribly disfigured. It opens the gate for us, allowing us into the new area. Moving on, I run into a few new bosses, including this couple who show that the death ball from earlier is actually man-controlled instead of magic like I thought. One long fight later, and they're no more. Next is this dude who's inside the remnant of a volcano. He takes a little bit of time, but nothing too major. Beating him gives us a cutscene of the red boy when he was a newborn. So another case of time travel, I guess. And now that that's done, time to fight the red boy for the last time.
That's it.
Okay, I know I said last time, but it was more for the wording than anything else. Yes! Finally beat him! And now that he's dead, the Ox King gives us a monologue about how wherever I go, ruin follows. Hey man, don't blame me, blame this weird-ass world. He gives us the last piece of Wukong. And for crying out loud, of course there's a second phase. So now we fight the Yaksha King, who could totally be a Dragon Ball character. And honestly, I was too busy admiring his character design to really focus on the fight, leading to many unnecessary deaths. Not to mention this attack, which sucked trying to figure out the timing. It's so slow, but it feels like it should come out way faster. And about 20 minutes later, I beat him, but before I can finish him off, Mama comes in and asks to spare her son since he's the last of his kind. She offers herself to take the punishment, but her son is like, nah, I got beat, I can't take that humiliation, and takes his own life. And like the chapters before, we get to witness a beautiful animation of a two-headed pig that suddenly cuts to the Ox King on the front lines with Wukong. So this is where I started to realize that most of these cutscenes relate to Wukong and his posse in some some way, with this one being all about the Ox King's relationship to Wukong. And now we're in the home stretch, Chapter 6, baby! This chapter is more of a victory lap, with not as challenging bosses, but still got some good spice to them, with the first being some harpy with a hand for a head who's from the Celestial Court, trying to stop us from getting to Wukong. We take him out first try just barely. Beating him gives us the Flying Nimbus, which helps us to get to the other bosses in the area. The next I fight is this Rhino with electric powers. He ain't too hard, just charge a smash attack to break his horn, rinse and repeat, and he's down first try, giving us Wukong's armor. Next on the list is this big ol' reindeer who harnesses the power of ice. Wasn't too bad as long as it didn't get frozen. Then after beating him, he goes into phase 2, where he's a rotting corpse and now does a ridiculous amount of poison damage. This fight was definitely harder than the Rhino, but not by much. Beating him gives me Wukong shin guards. Next one to bite the dust is this giant grasshopper. Now he ain't a fight per se, more so just of a skill check. Ride on him first and hope you have enough stamina, then burn the crap out of your hands and hope you have enough health. Finishing this awarded me with his neat little hat. And final opponent is this prey mantis that lodges itself into Baji's nose, so he shrinks us down to go in and fight it. Just like the deer, I didn't beat the mantis first try, but I did second. Ending him gives us Wukong's staff, meaning I now have all of his armor. However, the stats ain't the best, so I hop back into the map and upgrade the chest piece that allows me to regen health when it's low. A genuine lifesaver, and without it, I don't think I would have been able to finish the game. However, before fighting Wukong, and because I don't want to give Matt another aneurysm, I go and fight Erlang, and that goes about as well as I expected. So after searching a bit more for boos and finding this really good one that allows me to spam a fam that is damn near essential to beat him, I go back and beat him after a few practice runs. But this ain't over yet. He tells me only cowards fight on the ground and the next battle will start in the sky. Guess I should have known that he would have tricked me, cause he gets a cheap stab into my gut, but that ain't enough to hold me down, so we turn into kaiju for some reason and begin a skyscraper fight. But Erlang ain't want the smoke that soon, so he calls in the boys responsible for Wukong's demise, and now it's a 1v5. Now, I'm sure you probably expect me to complain here, but considering I've been doing that to most of the bosses in the game, I suppose it's fair. But I think they forgot something. Now that they're dead, Erlang is up to bat, and after getting a lucky life in,
It's clobbering time.
After smashing his face into the ground, we return to normal. He says uncle, calls it quits for good, as in he retires from life and gives me his weapon. And now I'm pretty sure I'm done with all the main side quests. Only thing left to do is fight myself. Me and Baji make it to the rock that Wukong got turned into and meet with the same old monkey that set me on my journey to the west. The old man gives us the 411 on Wukong's life, starting from his humble beginnings, leading all the way up to his death. He also shares the detail that the Destined One is the reincarnated Wukong, upsetting Baji since he thought this whole trip would resurrect his old friend instead of his new partner. Inheriting all of Wukong's gifts, we can finally make it to the remnant of Wukong where only the Destined One is able to enter. So now time for the big baddie, the Stone Monkey. After pushing it a little too hard, I get humbled a few times before deciding that perhaps the only way to beat the monkey is using the same weapon that beat him before. The weapons we fight with have divine power to demolish strongholds. A few more attempts and some helpful drugs later, I take out the monkey and awaken the main man himself, Wukong. Or at least his final shell, and somehow this took me less tries than the Stone Monkey. It actually only took me 2 attempts to take him out, but I ain't disappointed. This fight was not only amazing, but reasonably challenging. And now that the shell is broken, we get to absorb the 6th piece of Wukong, and now the Destined One has achieved Buddhahood. And now we're treated to the final animation showing Wukong's journey with the Celestial Court up to his final moments. And that was Black Myth Wukong. Never have I played a game with such varying difficulty and make me question if it's because of my skill or their programming. I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept my faith. Just like all the others, I highly recommend playing this game and experiencing this Black Myth for yourself. Thank you, Matt, for not only joining me on this review, but also helping me beat Yellow Long. That guy sucked. If you want to check him out, which I highly recommend that you do, his channel will be linked in the description below. Well, that's all for now, folks. Thanks for watching, and remember, I love you, God loves you, and Jesus is King. GG, God bless y'all, and Jesus loves you.